Hello and welcome to Straight Talk with me, Sifiso Mahlangu. You're live on channel 405 and I'm your host for this show. If you Google the name Napoleon Webster, many things come up. Across the list is murder, Marikana activist, a former leader of the economic freedom fighters. But tonight, Mr. Napoleon Webster talks to me on what happened at Marikana in the 5th year anniversary. Why did the people refuse Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma? Who denied Winnie Madikizela Mandela access to the People's Memorial? This is Straight Talk. Stay live, Mr. Webster. I welcome you to the show.
Thank you very much. I've watched this show before, and I'm ready to to have a discussion with you tonight.
It's a privilege for me to have you on the show. Thanks for coming all the way. You are now based in Marikana.
Yes, I'm now based in Marikana.
Okay, you're considered a Marikana activist. You're a councillor in Marikana. The last time you and I had a brief discussion, you were still a leader in the economic freedom fighters. And then I read in the papers you had gone to prison, and now you are a councillor in Marikana. What happened? It seems like so much has happened in a short space of time.
Yes, actually, as you will know, I have not changed. I'm still an activist that you met some times back. I have not changed. Of course, I pushed my activism through EFF, and I've never had a problem. And as an activist, I fight for my people. And whenever there's a platform to push the demands, I'll use. Like now, the Forum for Service Delivery, they asked me to come and represent them in the council chambers. Since I'm an activist, and I had no problem with taking that challenge.
Let's talk about the refusal of Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma. Is it true that people in Marikana refused for NDZ to enter the Marikana fields?
Well, I was there as a community leader, and some community members were there, some members of AMCU, several stakeholders within Marikana community were there. We had a problem with the way things were arranged, and again, we are fully aware that she's running a campaign.
Everybody's running a campaign. So is Mr. Julius Malema, so is Mr. Musi Maimane, but they were speakers at the Marikana Memorial. Why did you not kick them out of the memorial?
Actually, we had a memorial service where everybody came. Nobody is invited to come. Everybody comes. Nobody invites Musi Maimane. Nobody. They come and they become part of the program. And as black leaders, they can come and inspire and share whatever they have. I don't think there's a problem with that.
Our sources revealed that you were one of the people who chased or rejected Mrs. Mandela, Ms. Winnie Madikizela Mandela, from entering the Marikana Memorial. How true is this?
It is very true. We as the community of Marikana, we are not happy with Winnie Madikizela Mandela. Her involvement with Cyril Ramaphosa. It is very opportunistic. We respect her, and if our wishes can go to her, is that she must not get involved with Cyril. She's got a clean history. She mustn't taint her history with Cyril. Because Cyril, we believe, is a monster that came into Marikana, and he became a security guard of the Lone mining company. So it's very painful for us knowing her past and her involving herself with Cyril Ramaphosa, who is a monster to us.
Well, Mr. Webster, Mr. Ramaphosa is the deputy president of the ruling party. And I think the ANC at its policy conference, at whatever conferences, Ms. Madikizela Mandela would meet Mr. Ramaphosa. In fact, Mr. Ramaphosa has also met Mr. Julius Malema, you remember, at the 80th birthday party of Winnie Madikizela Mandela. But for me, for the people of Marikana to refuse her entry, but grant entry to Mr. Mmusi Maimane, according to your evaluation, who has fought more for the rights of black people in this country?
It is painful that I mean, it was a contribution of many people. It's not good to take Winnie Mandela like she is Chuck Norris of the black struggle. There were a lot of people who contributed. She did her part, and so is many other people who were there during the struggle. I don't like that narrative of making our people pop stars, like, you know, they're like Chuck Norrises and, you know, all that. Winnie Mandela did her part, and so is many other people. But her part was not like spectacular. I mean, we have like Robert Subuka's wife who took part. We have Steve Biko's wife. There were a lot of other women who took part. It's not like Winnie Mandela was the only woman who was vocal. And the media, the white media made Winnie Mandela a pop star, which is not good. Well, Mmusi Maimane came as a black child. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. And in a funeral, do you choose who comes to the funeral? No. Anybody comes. Do you choose who should come and comfort you? No. ANC, from beginning, never took part in the commemoration. And they are the ones who created all these taboos. From the word go, they never took part in the commemoration.
Would they be allowed to participate in the commemoration? Deputy President Mr. Ramaphosa wanted to go to Marikana. He was refused entry. He was denied invitation by AMCU and the people of Marikana. How can he come without an invitation? Is he even safe if he attempts to go there? I've heard Ms. Winnie Madikizela Mandela say she wishes to take Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa to Marikana. But I think at some stage, Mr. Webster, just to play the devil's advocate here, you need to meet South African leaders halfway. You can't expect them to show remorse, and then when they do, you indict them or you refuse them. I don't think that's the fair way of doing it.
Cyril Ramaphosa, during the day, he's a deputy president. At night, he's a businessman. At night, he is a security guard of the white monopoly capital. At night, he represents he represents the black pain. He's actually one of the people who are used as fronts. We've been hearing, a story of fronting and fronting. Fronting has always been there, and Cyril Ramaphosa is one of the best front men of the white monopoly capital. So to us, he cannot come to the commemoration. While he is not yet clear, he's got blood on his hands.
But what about Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma? When you say when the Marikana massacre happened, she was AU chairperson, so she was not even living in South Africa. But in African culture, when she wishes to come and pay her respects, whether she's a presidential hopeful or not, Mr. Webster, why was she denied entry?
She was, I mean, it's about 4 days ago, when we had the commemoration. Why did she choose not to commemorate with others? Why should her commemoration be special? I don't think she was going to be rejected had she asked to commemorate with others. The problem came when she came like several days after the commemoration, and she comes with people wearing ANC regalia. I mean, that is a monument of our heroes. You know, it means a lot to us. You know, Marikana copy. So we cannot just allow, you know, it's obviously for political reasons that she came several days after. Had she gone during the commemoration, which is on the 16th, I don't think she was going to be rejected, and so is any other leader.
Do you consider, Mr. Webster, that perhaps it's not government's fault entirely? When Marikana happened, and just to play the devil's advocate once again, people had already died at the hands of several miners who had weapons at their disposal. Can you solely put the blame of the Marikana massacre? And I don't even like to call it the Marikana massacre. I want to call it the Lonmin
massacre. Good.
Is it entirely feasible or fair to put the blame solely on government's table?
Yes. Actually, ANC several times, they've always been saying they take collective decisions. So
But
Cyril
the Farlam
Ramaphosa, Cyril Ramaphosa is a member of ANC, NEC, and the deputy president. So whatever decision that he took for the Lonmin massacre to happen, obviously we should collectively blame ANC, because ANC takes a collective decision, and that's what we
So you're saying AMCU has in fact captured the Marikana Memorial, the Lonmin Memorial?
No. It's wrong to say that, because I'm part of Marikana community, and people are consulted. All the stakeholders are consulted before the commemoration takes place.
Mr. Webster, should you be calling Mr. Ramaphosa a monster? I mean, you've just come out of prison from a 7-month tenure, if I can call it that, in prison for murder. How do you then say you're putting the blame on someone else for taking the lives of other South Africans?
Cyril Ramaphosa is implicated, seriously implicated.
He was vindicated by the Farlam Commission.
For me, Farlam Commission is just a cover-up, yeah. Because, I mean, it cleared everybody. Cyril Ramaphosa is a murderer. He took part, he as a unionist and being black, he could have done more. I mean, he could have avoided.
Well, I think we're walking on the periphery of unconstitutionalism now, yeah. And all the aspersions.
With the experience that he accumulated.
All the aspersions we're casting, Mr. Webster.
Yes.
Many mines in this country don't give people money, and it's not just Lonmin. And Mr. Ramaphosa is a shareholder. He's not the only shareholder for Lonmin. He's not even the majority shareholder. Shouldn't the collective call be against mining in this country, as Mr. Mosebenzi Zwane is attempting to do? Shouldn't you raise your voice to the many mining companies that are mining the South African reserves and taking them to foreign nations at the expense of South African miners? Perhaps you're fighting the wrong person. Have you ever considered?
No. The problem comes when the mining company, we need to expose such shenanigans that the mining companies are using our black brothers as fronts. They use, the real fight should be against Lonmin, of course. But
and white monopoly capital.
And white monopoly capital. But now white monopoly capital uses our own people like Cyril Ramaphosa as security guards. whenever there's a problem, I mean, Cyril Ramaphosa was not actively involved.
I don't understand. We're still talking about Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa in 2017.
No, I'm giving you
because he's a
example.
presidential hopeful.
No.
But Anglo Ashanti
I'm talking about
is
Cyril
dismissing 8.5 thousand jobs. Why are we not talking about that?
No, I'm giving a practical example that a lot of our people will understand.
Should you not then rally behind Mr. Mosebenzi Zwane? Well, given the fact that he's also an ANC minister, but should you not rally behind him in support of the mining charter? Because if you've studied the contents of this mining charter, it seems to also redefine and assist mining communities, such as the one you lead.
I'm very happy that you're raising the issue of Msebenzi Zwane. But I wouldn't like it when you're saying Msebenzi Zwane, then you put him together with ANC.
Because he is an ANC minister.
Wait. As a minister, he doesn't represent, he represents all of us. Yes. As part of Marikana community, Msebenzi Zwane must come. I want him to come to my community, and then we engage with him, and we need an input in this mining charter, because again, we don't want to see the common faces who are participating in beneficiation of the mines. No, only few faces doing business within the mining sector. We need to scrutinize that. We need to see small business people within our communities be mentored by these big companies. We don't want a situation whereby big companies are coming from far places where we don't know, and then they take our money, our resources, and they just go without empowering our communities. We need to take part. We need to be accommodated in this mining charter. It sounds good, but we need to also have a weight in that. Ordinary
Talk
people
to me,
must,
Mr. Webster. Why
yes.
did you leave the EFF?
I'm an activist. I didn't leave EFF. I'm an activist, and I work for my people. My people come first. Politics are the last thing. What is important to me is my community, that I work for my community, and the interests of my community are served. I take part in protecting the community. I take part in organizing the community. Like, you know, I'm the chairperson of Marikana Unemployment Forum. We create a database for the unemployment.
And you knew this before you went to the EFF. You knew that you were an activist, that you truly loved the people, even before going to the EFF. You still went, and whilst you were within the EFF, you discovered or rediscovered your love for the people.
Yes, true. I knew that. That's why I've never been interested in any position within political structures. I'm an activist. I work for my people. I work for my community. My community comes first. And, well, EFF is a platform, a political platform that I can take the issues of my community through EFF, and they get addressed.
Is it fair to assume then that you had a fallout with the leader of the EFF?
I wouldn't say I had a fallout with the leader of EFF. As an activist, I mean, I work with different formations of black people. I work with civil movements. Like now, the organization that represents me legally, it's SIRI. It works with people, different communities. As an activist, I built up a relationship with different organizations. Like my family was stuck with legal fees, and they quickly came to the rescue, because I've been involved with evictions, exploitation of workers. I mean, they know me as an activist. Yeah,
I thought this case was sub judice, but now that you've gone to the prison subject, do you care to share with me of the reason you went to jail? I understand that you were imprisoned for 7 months.
True. It's politically, it's a political case. I mean, I've been very vocal against the mining companies and against security guards like Cyril Ramaphosa. You know, what happens is the mining companies will pick vocal people within our communities and use them. Yeah. So Cyril Ramaphosa is a very good example of being a security guard. In fact, he did very well as a security guard at Lonmin, because even now, the 5,500 houses that Lonmin was supposed to build, they have not yet built. And
did
my
you not
case,
commit a murder?
No, I did not. There's a strong evidence that I've got a strong alibi that takes me out of the scene of murder. I was at ShopRite, and I had students who had visited me from different universities, from University of Cape Town, Stellenbosch, Wits, University of Pretoria. They had come to my house. These were my children. You know, they came all the way from different areas to come and empower the children of miners, to help children of miners to register for university entry, to help students to apply for funding and all that. So they had come there. So by the time murder occurred, I was far from the scene of murder. I was at ShopRite. I had a meeting with the manager of ShopRite. And inside that meeting, we were discussing like the sponsorship of food and all that, because I was running short of funds because we didn't have a handler for this program. It was a community program, and as you know, it was December. A lot of people didn't have money. It was early December.
Are you extending now on the show an invite to Mr. Mosebenzi Zwane to come to Marikana, to engage with the community, to see what the mining companies are doing? Will you guarantee his safety if he should respond and attempt to come?
Yes, if it's not a political program, if he'll be performing his duty, he must come. We actually need him because, I mean, we can't wait for elections for politicians to come and address our concerns. It's very unfair that we suffer daily and people are just waiting to build up momentum for elections and, you know, leadership transitions and all that. We need to address our problems now because the unemployment rate is a problem that affects us now. Poverty affects us now. Crime affects us now. All these problems are caused because we are not organized as communities to like face the mining companies and to benefit from the mining companies, because the security guards like Cyril Ramaphosa, they've made it very, very difficult. So we need to work hard. We need to talk to Mosebenzi Zwane to see how we benefit. We need ordinary people to question, to ask, if I'm a welder, how do I benefit? How do I take charge? How can I participate? Different professions must be developed within our communities. All the companies which are performing around the mines which are around our area must actually benefit, must skill our people, must empower people with skill so that they can also take part. You know? And also, this should not only happen in Marikana. I challenge the minister to go to all the mining companies, mining communities, to engage directly with ordinary people, people who are affected.
So, Mr. Webster, now that you've extended this invitation to Minister Zwane, how do you chart the way forward for healing in Marikana? What steps are you going to take? The widows in Marikana are still distraught. The children remain without fathers to this day. And we continue to discuss who's wrong and who should not come, who's playing political games.
And the murderer accused is running for presidential race.
How do we now chart a way towards healing for the people of Marikana?
First and foremost, Cyril must be charged for murders.
Besides Mr. Ramaphosa. There needs to be a mechanism of healing. Mr. Webster, besides Mr. Ramaphosa, there needs to be a model and a framework to which we adopt healing. What do we do to those who remain? I understand your concerns about the deputy president.
But we can't avoid
But there are
his
people in
participation.
Marikana. Marikana still seethes to this day. The blood speaks from the ground. How do we heal the thousands that are left fatherless?
We need justice. We need Cyril Ramaphosa to be charged with the murders that occurred there. We need Cyril Ramaphosa to come out.
I say thousands because because an African community is not just a nuclear family. These villages are all affected. So beyond the political debate you are raising now, what mechanisms are you going to put in place to heal the community?
First, we need the real criminal to be charged.
Why don't you charge the owners and the chief executives of Lonmin?
Yes.
They refused to give people 12.5.
No, one.
Those people are not the victims.
They used Cyril Ramaphosa as their security guard. So we need Cyril Ramaphosa to be charged. Two, we need Lonmin to be charged. And we should rename Lonmin massacre. Marikana massacre. It should be known that it's a Lonmin massacre, and Lonmin is exploiting black people. We need proper houses to be built for the workers. We need the widows to be compensated. But first and foremost, Cyril Ramaphosa and Lonmin must be charged for murders that happened in Marikana.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. Webster. You've made your point perfectly clear tonight. So thank you for coming. I hope to have you again.
Very, very soon. And next time when we meet, we'll be talking about the charges against the deputy president.
Okay, Mr. Webster. You've made your point perfectly clear tonight on this show. Thank you for watching South Africa and the World. I am Sifiso Mahlangu. This has been Straight Talk. The mining companies continue to subdue the earth, and Africans don't get many reserves out of that. We've been exploited before by colonialism, and the mining companies continue to exploit South Africa. This has been Straight Talk, channel 405, only on DSTV. It's called ANN7. Thank you for watching. Pray for South Africa.